They marked the deadline of the government ban on plastic carrier bags, sending vendors and shoppers in a state of confusion. The ban, which is meant to alleviate the environmental hazards posed by the plastic bags, opened a window for rogue law enforcers to harass unsuspecting Kenyans caught in possession of the banned bags. But even with a 4-year jail term awaiting those flouting the ban, when will the actual arrests begin taking place? Well, Betty Nzioka, the National Environment Management Authority Director will help us answer this and many more questions regarding the ban. You are the Deputy Director General of NEMA, I understand. Many thanks for joining us, Betty. So this is a ban that began yesterday. This is the third attempt in 10 years to ban plastic bags in Kenya. Let's begin with what I just mentioned. Unsuspecting Kenyans have been harassed in the past 48 hours or so by rogue officers claiming that the 4-year jail term or the 4 million shilling fine must be paid for those who found the paper bags yesterday. Let's begin with those harsh fines and when they will begin implementation.
Good morning, viewers. Again, my name is Betty Nzioka, a Deputy Director in NEMA. Yes, indeed, the ban took effect yesterday, and today it is illegal to be found with plastic paper, which is the carrier bag or the flat bags. And NEMA was out yesterday making spot checks to ensure that the ban, the public and also facilities are preparing adequately to embrace the ban. And we sent out several teams out into the different regions of the city, as well as at the counties led by the county directors of environment. So it is not true that we have, we are using police to inspect or to harass people. We want to reassure the public that the inspections that are taking place the entire week, we are out the entire week, being conducted by NEMA inspectors. We are all the technical scientists and the technical officers of NEMA are gazetted environmental inspectors, including myself. I was actually leading the team in Dagoretti. And we are only using our partners in the police for security, because some of the areas you may not know, maybe the public may turn, hostile or something. But we are not. It is not the police that is inspecting. We have not, rolled out that area yet because it was still taking effect. And therefore, we are urging any member of the public that may be harassed or demanded to open their bags. That will not be a NEMA exercise.
What then?
They should continue, report that to us. What
then should Kenyans expect from the NEMA officials? What will they be asking for? How can we ensure or verify that these are indeed NEMA officials?
NEMA inspectors are usually adored with a uniform. We also have NEMA identification cards that show that you are a NEMA inspector. So anyone being, interrogated by a NEMA official should, first of all, demand to just know that you are a NEMA official. And you don't even have to demand, because that is normally our first thing to do. We introduce ourselves, we declare who we are, we show our inspectorate card. And we always, when we are doing work in the public, we always wear NEMA uniform. Okay, you may say that somebody can always wear, we have seen impersonators, but we have those things. We have the NEMA uniform for inspectors, and we have the identification card of an environmental inspector. And therefore, I would like to reassure the public not to be scared or worried. This is not an operation toward plastic. It is a normal, cordial way of doing things, and there's going to be order, there's going to be the rule of law, and you can only now face the law when you have broken the law.
All right. Yes. So we'll be waiting for when the implementation will begin. We will get to that. But there's a lot of
maybe I can just tell you from the onset, because those two items have been doing rounds yesterday, that we are, granting grace period, and we are not. The enforcement, the Gazette notice took effect yesterday, and we are going to be enforcing all aspects, to stop the use, to stop the importation, to stop manufacture. There is no aspect of those areas of the ban that are going to be granted an extension as some people were circulating that.
So that would mean anybody caught with a plastic paper bag as of today can be arrested?
Can be arrested, can face the law, including the general public.
All right.
So let no one think that we are joking. We are not joking. The case was ruled in favor. The ban is on. Let us just comply and do the right thing. But I want to really appreciate Kenyans because all the inspections that we did yesterday, every facility, every supermarket has complied. And they have all brought out the alternative packaging material, cartons, brown paper, alternative bags, the woven material, and there is total compliance.
All right.
And they also told us that the public itself is also agreeable even to purchase some that are being sold. So I want to thank Kenyans for accepting to work with us in this journey and to do the right thing.
We'll be focusing on the alternatives in just a moment. Let's focus on the concerns that are being raised. Now that you say NEMA is not joking, the arrests can be done as early as today. The others were asking, what do we do with the plastic paper bags we already have at our homes, in our cars? And you know, Kenyans have that culture of keeping one drawer that is just dedicated for paper bags. Where do we take those paper bags? And do we expect NEMA officials to come into our homes to inspect that as well?
We have said two things, and my Director General was on air yesterday saying that one, we are inspecting the facilities, the established facilities, and we are asking for them to disclose, to declare what they have. Some have already declared. We have 20 tons. We have this number of pieces not used, and we are signing off a declaration receipt so that we document what you have in terms of quantities, and this is now for the established facilities like the supermarkets or distributors. And once we do that, then we task you to store it in your facilities, because NEMA doesn't have that kind of space to seize and carry with us. And we are not trying to do that because we would like the facilities that had already purchased these items to be able to recover some of the costs as they trade in. Because we expect them to return to the specified recyclers or to the manufacturers that had given them, so that the manufacturer can turn it to another product that is not burned. So we would like the facilities to retain the quantities that they have, so that they will be the ones to handle the return. But we are putting that agreement that, yes, you have this, with that disclosure. And they keep a record, we keep a record, and we will be working with them to help them return.
All right.
Some know what to do. Some already have talked to their suppliers, and they are willing to take. Others are waiting for us to declare the appropriate centers. And as you heard my Director General saying, that we will soon, maybe even by end of today, we will be able to tell the public where some of the centers that are already established. These centers meaning companies. We have about in Nairobi now 4. That have declared they are able to receive plastic. They have the technology to recycle them. So those ones we are going to be declaring them officially to the public so that they know where to take. Other centers will be the supermarkets themselves, because we expect the supermarkets to be able to recall their own products, their own packaging material. You do realize that supermarkets have all their carrier bags labeled because they have been hitherto using them as advertisement of themselves. So if it is Naivas, if it is Nakumat, they will be putting a corner in their compound where the public can return. Now the incentives thereof will be between Nakumat and their clients.
All right.
Yeah. So we are just, as an environmental watchdog, giving the process, giving life to the process.
Okay.
But everybody will take responsibility of their own packaging. So we are working very closely and in a very cordial way with the supermarkets under their umbrella body, the READ track. because they are all members of the Retailers Association, and they have been more than willing to work with us.
Well,
so I'm sure in terms of the callback system, which we are telling everyone that is going to be receiving to have, how you call back your product as waste to come back to you.
It's up to them.
Yeah.
Let's focus on the alternatives, because this is a conversation that has come up in the past 2 days or so. So alternatives have come up. We have Gunias, you have some alternatives here. Take us through some of the alternatives Kenyans have, especially when it comes to shopping in supermarkets, in markets, for these small grocery vendors, the mama mbogas, the sugarcane vendors. What alternatives do they have?
Maybe just to recap, I think the members of the public and everyone knows that these are the carrier bags. I don't have all my items. There has been a mix-up. Some have been left in NEMA when I thought they were left here, but they are coming. I hope there will still be time. But this is what we have burnt. This is a carrier bag, and it has handles, and I think now this narrative is clear to everybody.
So that is what can get you a full year.
Yeah, this is what can get you to 2 million. If you have some to spare, no problem. But you don't want to go there. I don't have that other small one. Assume the flat back is just this, without the handles.
Right.
The juala, the one now people put all manner of things, including soup, paraffin, githeri, and milk. We have also undermined ourselves. I think as Kenyans, we should not go that far. It's crazy to walk around with soup, which can easily puncture and pour on yourself. So we also must change our lifestyle and respect ourselves a bit more, regardless of the hardship times. So carrier bag with handles, a flat bag without. Those are the ones that have been burnt, just for a recap. And now, I'll call this my NEMA shop. You should open one of the NEMA shop here. Now, part of the, alternative bags or packaging is the old-time brown paper, which I think some of us, most of us, grew seeing, and we have continued to see, but their production only went down because they were overtaken by the craze of plastic and the way it mutated into different things. So this is one of the main ones. Now it comes in different sizes. There is a medium size, there's a larger size, and there's tiny ones. The tiny ones can go into, you can put your jugu there, you can put anything that is of small quantities there.
In that, maybe just as you hold on to that point, mostly those are used by small business vendors, especially the transparent flat bags. In terms of cost and affordability, because the flat bags are definitely a lot cheaper for them, even in their businesses, is this very affordable for them?
Madam, you know that these items have been coming and dispensed very fast. And it has been just like a dispenser. Even if they are cheap, the cost is compromised by the rate at which they are being dispensed. So the mama boga still spends a lot of money buying because she can't more or less control the numbers, because she has just to release them. So the cost is compromised by the rate of release, and the rest now the rate of disposal to the environment. So we are going to be seeing everybody, and especially supermarkets, they are happy behind the scene because production of the carrier bag was rolling into over 40 million for some of them in a year, or even $1 million in a month. So they are happy. It is a cost cut.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that is one of the alternatives.
So
but it's not
because
very
these ones can be used in different sizes, we have, even when we were in Dagoretti, we found already, even in those deep areas, everybody, they have them in the shops, and we encouraged them now to have them and not to speculate that this thing will just last for a day and ease off. It is our way of life today. Let us not go back to where we were. We are moving forward with eco-friendly alternatives. A lot of shops, we found them transferring already measured sugar, rice into this, and we actually stopped and acknowledged them, and some who had done so well, we are going to be calling them as our champions to NEMA to come and appreciate them And so NEMA is not just out, stalking people to arrest. We are also appreciating the good efforts that Kenyans are doing. So already shoppers are transferring the materials, the food items. They had already measured the sugar, flour, rice, into this.
Okay, so that is one of the alternatives. Let's move on to the next, because we don't have much time. Yes,
cost will cancel out. Cost will cancel out, and this is not expensive. And going alongside this is the flat sheet. We'll be encouraging Chandaria, because it's one of the most established one in waste paper manufacturing, to fast track the production of the flat sheets, the ones that you can now cut and wrap the meat, wrap sukuma wiki. Mama Mboga, we are telling her, don't clean the sukuma wiki, because then it makes it wet and it can't be contained here. And why do you want somebody else to wash your vegetable for you? The reason we are having a lot of all these waterborne diseases, cholera included, is because we are not even sure where that water they get it. Some of that water they take to clean our vegetables on our behalf is contaminated.
Right. And perhaps then, even
so
on that same point,
they will not be cleaning the vegetables at source. They will cut for you, no problem. We have all become lazy, okay, but go and clean it in your house.
Another concern comes with the small flat bags. Just even as we wind up, we don't have much time. The small flat bag used in shops, usually to divide goods in smaller quantities, is one that is used highly by small businesses and small vendors. What alternatives do they have therein?
We have encouraged products that come in sachets to be packed in containers, so that instead of bringing them as a ring of sachets, then they are just contained, like how you see biscuits being packed. A lot of things will go into containers instead of coming as sachets. And so we are asking for adjustments so that things can work differently for the better.
All right.
Small adjustments. And this is the same olive leaf we are extending to manufacturers. Yes, Director General was leading the team to industrial area, came across some of the industries closed, and yet they are not only open, the operation is not only just for making carrier bags. They make other products. So let industries open that do other products like chairs, seats, so that they don't create the impression that they have closed down, Kenyans are losing jobs. Some of it is an act.
All right. And of course, at what stage then is the implementation of this law? And are we looking at a full implementation of a plastic bag ban? Because there are still some plastic paper bags that have not been banned, the ones used for garbage disposal, for example.
Well, exemptions. Our ban gave exemptions. And although our partners in the industry, we are saying that this is not legal, the ban is legal. It's a gazette notice, and therefore we have produced guidelines on how to interpret it and understand it. And through that window of the gazette notice, which is a legal instrument, we have brought out exemptions. Why? There are some products that can only come out wrapped because of health and hygiene, such as the products that have to be in direct contact, like milk. There's no other way of bringing it out, even as we explore those other methods. So it has to be in contact with a packaging. So milk, bread, those SMEs that are doing chicken and all that. Foods that have to be brought out, protected, and in a healthy manner. Those ones we have exempted, so that that wrapping is retained, but the wrapping has to be labeled so that we know who is packaging that food product.
All right.
And they will not be available across any counter for sale. They will only be down there where they are being packaged by the industry, and that is the only place they will remain. And therefore, we will be asking the industries that we are going to be giving exemption to also put in place their take-back system, which is an incentive, motivation to their own related clients.
Customers, all right. So that is something we will be following up on. But even as we wind up, like you mentioned, many Kenyans have embraced this ban as of yesterday. Small vendors using that particular bag that you're showing us. But those who don't understand the main aim and implication of this ban, why is this ban important for the environment?
The other bags are this, and we are also, if I may just wind up the alternatives, these are the other bags. Some people have also gone, this is non-woven, that's the language, woven, there is non-woven. The woven one has a bit of fiber, you see, like it's a gunia behind the scene, but this is just, you know, jute material, the non-woven one. So we are requesting people to make the medium, the heavier gauge. There's a very flimsy one which almost looks like paper that you can't put heavy material. NEMA and the Bureau of Standards, our partners, very supportive. The Bureau of Standards, we are working on the parameters so that now we publish the parameters of these alternative bags. If it is not cloth, khaki, these are the types we have to produce to give a parameter, because some people have gone for the cheaper one. We saw some of those yesterday, and we told them, your next production, go for the heavier one. We are not going to be accepting those that tear off quickly, the lower part of this. So this is a heavier gauge of non-woven, and this is what we'll be expecting, this quality, which can last long. The issue here is to avoid single use, where you use something and throw. We want multiple use that can last long and long. And we know cloth will last long, khaki will last long, and all that. So Kenyans and viewers, please embrace this. And those who may be, a lot of entrepreneurs have now come making these bags. Don't go for this, the flimsy one of this type. Make the heavier one, because we know you're also now selling, even the supermarkets, we saw they are selling 10 shillings, between 10 shillings and 15 shillings at the Naivas. So the next production, we saw some of those at the Naivas, even the Nakumat. Please make the heavier gauge so that we don't again have the same things coming out. Some places we also saw alternatives of netting material, putting vegetables in a net. We are discouraging that, because when the netting gets into the water, those are the ones that are struggling, marine life. You have seen fish swimming into a net and getting trapped there. So let us keep between this and the cloth bags and the non-woven material.
So those are alternatives that Kenyans can use, even as NEMA continues to ensure that this law is implemented, the ban on plastic bags, the third attempt in the last 10 years to ensure that this ban is implemented. That is Betty Nzioka, Deputy Director General at NEMA, speaking to us on the alternatives Kenyans have this on the second day of the plastic ban bag. It is now 28 minutes past the hour right here on the early morning edition of Kivumbi 2017. Let's take a short commercial break, but do stay with us. When we come back, Michael Gitonga will be analyzing the proceedings of this